My name is Folami Olawale. I'm a trained architect. I'm married to my beautiful wife, and I have two lovely girls. I'm also a serial entrepreneur. Yeah, that's who I am. Well, I'm aspiring to achieve a lot more global relevance and ensure longevity of impact. I'm choosing to share my transition story because that will really resonate with young people that are in that crossroad where they quite don't know how to transit from tertiary education into the real life. One interesting story that really impacted my life and really fostered growth for me was a situation where we got a job and we were supposed to, it was a job that would go through a third party for a particular bank, and we were paid like 10% of the actual worth of the project. And sometimes I just remember these scenarios, and I asked myself some critical questions. What if I didn't take these jobs? So as a youngster wanting to make money, I took the job not because I really thought that it was profitable, no, but I took it because I saw it as a seed. So we took the job, we did the job, built relationship with the third party firm that gave us the job. So the interesting thing is that after I think about a year thereabout, one of the staff, when I mean staff, one of the floor staffs of the organization, which they own a printing press, had one particular client that came and said they needed an architect to do 3D models for them. And then the guy gave them my number. I got there, and lo and behold, I met this very young guy. And he said, "Yo, welcome. I want to do X and X and X." And I was like, "Okay, yes. How much is it?" I gave him the price, and he was like, No, it's too expensive. Young man, I'm not going to cut my prices. I walked out, and I got to the gate, and the spirit said to me, "Are you sure you want to walk out of this?" And I said, I turned back and I went and I said, "Sir, okay, I'm going to do the job." And he said, "No, the price has reduced." I said, "No, sir. The price I gave you was the best." And he gave me the job. That was where I actually made my first million. And we did the job, invested so much time and effort. It came out excellently well, and we started to get a lot of referrals. Now, I'm going to walk you through another same scenario from this same particular guy. Somebody else came to that same particular guy's company to print, and then they said they needed an architect. This same guy, who is a floor staff, recommended us for the second time. And lo and behold, I found myself in the head office of Dangote Group. It was like a dream. But the very interesting thing is that I've always, navigated my thoughts towards wanting to work with HNIs. But a guy from the street where you literally don't know anybody. Who could actually walk you to the richest black man in existence office? And I just discovered that anything that I think about, anything I conceptualize in my head really comes to reality. Some people call it energy, but I call it fate. Well, lo and behold, I got there, met the clients, we got to meet the president, who is Dangote himself, and it was very impactful to us. We built a relationship, did the first job, did it excellently well, and the rest is history. Why I choose to share this story is that it's almost unrealistic for someone to get referred by someone that you really don't even, that you don't even think that really values you, or that even owes any sort of value. And lo and behold, this particular guy introduced us to two major clients that really served as a paradigm shift for the entire organization and also myself as a person. And you see, the seed of the first project that we actually did it wasn't favorable, it wasn't the best conditions, it wasn't the best pay. But because we knew that every project we do is a seed towards a greater cause, that really, really impacted our growth. And here we are today, probably one of the few best you find. Isaiah 54 verse 2. I think what is most interesting about the Bible verse is that it makes me think very limitlessly. Nothing seems too big. Like Elijah Aliko we always say, nothing is impossible and impossible is nothing. If you read through the verse, you would see where the Bible was talking about expanding your territory. Don't spare length, don't spare breadth. So and that has been my driving force ever since I got out of school. I never thought anything was impossible. All I needed to do was to think it and to work towards it. And I always find out that those things come my way, and I'm actually well prepared to grab those opportunities. Like people say, those Kairos moments. The song that best sums me up is Reckless Love, because I've seen God actually worked out very impossible things in my life. Actually, God is actually quite intentional about me. I think, it goes as far as delivering the thoughts that I don't even think that I prayed about. Just thinking about something and then you see those things actually happen in reality. I think that's a level of intentionality that anyone can actually experience. So I think God is really intentional about me. I think He lives in 99 and works and looks for me. Yeah, that's what I think. Next generation, think limitlessly. The saying, anytime I think about this saying, nothing is impossible, impossible is nothing, it actually just, it expands my mind to how much of, growth one can actually achieve. So I'll say to young people, never let anything, stop your shine. Never let your situation, your environment, your background affect who you are, affect what you intend to achieve. It might seem a bit tough at the beginning, with a lot of ups and downs, but never give up, because giving up really is like setting yourself back. And consistency through the trials, through the struggles, would only assure you to hit that spot one day. So I'll say to my young folks, first things first, think out of the box. Don't let anything limit you. Be consistent, never give up, and most importantly, hold your social capital very dearly, because when money goes, when everything goes, you only find humans around you. My story is incomplete without some very key people that God has put into my life at various seasons. And those people, because of the understanding around relationship and social capital, has really helped me to navigate those seasons. So I'll say to young people, social capital will buy you what money will not buy. Social capital will take you to places where influence and money, won't take you to. So yeah, these are my few advices for young people. And lastly, you must love God, because to be honest, nothing happens in this world without God. For the people that are making it without God, you need to go and find out how they get it done. So to think that you know um, X and X is a billionaire, he doesn't love God, that's not true. You need to go and find out. It's either you're with God or you're with the devil. So you pick one. But I advise you stick with God.